Welcome, everybody, back to the Game Ball Podcast. I'm your host, Mark. This is the news hour for this last day of May 2024. That means, we're getting close to summer game fest season. Key 3, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be talking about the first shot across the bow, which wasn't much of one from Sony. Funny story, which I teased you with coming in. So, if you were with us last night, I watched the state of play when I got home from work for you guys, and we went through it. Maybe about 3/4 of the way through the video, I got a notification on my phone. I needed to check, so I muted the mic, checked the thing, put it down, never unmuted the mic for the last fourth of that showcase. So, you'll be hearing some of my opinions for the first time on the back half of that state of play, which was the best part of it, to be honest. We'll go through all the games on there, and we'll do my thing where everybody complains when I go real slow, but it's just me. I control everything on this show. So, first off, let's just talk about the games I've been playing through. Let's start off with Hades 2. I really have been enjoying the game from the sheer fact of it does exactly what I want a sequel in that type of genre to do. It is more of the first game in terms of look, style, sort of stuff. It has a lot of great improvements in that respect as well. The character art that pops up when people talk in the visual novel style is loads better this time. They've had a little more time to fine-tune. There's a lot of very good Easter eggs in there, which, depending on how much you played Hades, you wouldn't pick up on. Like, Eris is in it, and she has the gun in the aspect of Eris, which is one of the things you could have upgraded with the Titan Blood in the first game. I believe someone has the spear or the bow in their aspect as well, or the shield in their aspect. I've only met a couple of them, but I've seen those weapons, and the best part is in the first game, you can use the Titan Blade to get aspects of certain people, like 4 of them on there. I think the first ones were always aspects of Zagreus. I'm not sure. If Night Duck was here, he probably could help me, but they're doing a good job of integrating those people that were on that list that weren't in the first game into this, and it's pretty cool when the character art comes up and you see that weapon exactly the way it looked with Zagreus in the first game. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying how Maloney plays, or Melanie. Maybe it's Melanie. I said Maloney. Because it feels different from Zagreus. I went back to Hades for like 1 or 2 runs. Beat Zeus. Not Zeus. Beat Hades. As I'm wont to do in that game now, because I have a very specific build with the fist, the knuckle thing, that I can almost run through that, depending on how well I'm playing. I make sure I get Athena first. I get Athena's dash deflect. Then I get either Zeus or Poseidon. Get their thing on my attack. And then I get Demeter. Demeter, and I get her call, which is the thing you drop down and it shoots the lasers. And then I make sure I get the rift of, there's like 2 or 3 of them. They're really good. Ares, and there's I think it's Artemis is the other one I get. I know it's definitely Ares, the Rift one. Demeter's is good too. She's probably second for me. But anyway, I have a very I can, off the top of my head, just tell you this 5 or 6 boons that I go for immediately. Unless if for some odd reason I'm deep enough in that game where I don't have much of the Fated list left. When one of those Fated list things pop up, I'll just grab that. No matter what, I'll ruin that run. It doesn't matter. But that's what I'm loving about Hades 2. Is the fact that I guess it's just being a new game has this aspect as well, is that you're essentially learning the game again. I know this isn't like, oh, this is Mark's breaking open some secret on here. No, this happens with every game. I understand that, especially roguelites and stuff like that. But what I mean is that I'm having fun figuring out my build, what I want, how I want to do it, how I want to go. I will admit, I am not as good of a player as most people on the internet, and you're going to have to get used to that. I'm not as good as Night Duck, who literally took my character, did my first beat of Hades on the Extra Life stream with the bow. And it's my only run with the bow because I used the fist for all 25 of my other 26. I think I'm close to 30 clears with the fist, and they're all fist runs. Yeah. So I am not great. Therefore, I do put on the, I believe it's called like God mode in this, where it gives you damage, and every time you die, you get a certain percentage. I think it goes up to half, and then it stops. Which essentially is the reason why I can beat it just about every time on the other one, is because I judge my success depending on how many, if I have to use any Death Defiances. If I can clear, like I've had 4 or 5, if I call them perfect runs, where I get through even with that God mode on without using a Death Defiance, I take that as a victory for me and not relying on that. So I have that on for this, but I'm still getting my ass kicked a lot because I'm not at the point that I am with Hades, where I know almost all of the enemies that pop up in the 4 worlds, and I don't know all the bosses. Sort of tells, I guess, is maybe the best way to put it. Like I can go into the fights with, Meg, Persephone, and Alecto, I believe, and know how to fight each one of them, and pretty much wipe the floor with them. And the Bone Serpent is very much just learning how to beat the ads that pop up when he makes himself impervious, and just doing enough damage until, because I don't know if it's a damage limit or a time limit on him. I haven't figured that out yet, but like I got the strategies. So going into this, you get to Hecate, your mentor sort of thing. Fight her first. I've sort of figured her out a little bit, not perfect yet. But the second one, I've not beaten them yet, which is Scylla and Sirens. Not going to reveal the really cool thing about them here. Hopefully you watch the stream or you play it yourself. But I have not figured out how to easily get through most of their health bar without dying. They have a lot of stuff that is very hard to track. And I'm assuming once I figure out how to track it, because I figured out how to do at least one part of it, like where to stand and what to do to beat this one part of it. It's the rest of it that I haven't figured out yet. But I've watched streams, so I know what comes after it. So again, not going to spoil, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing it offline for the most part. Probably not going to stream it anymore until 1.0 comes out, and then we'll play through the game together and find out all the stuff together, because they'll change some story stuff. I was watching somebody play the early access and then the 1.0 of Hades 1, and just seeing how some of the things in the story changed was pretty wild. But yeah, so having a lot of fun with that offline. That's my offline game, at least for now. So having a whole lot of fun with that. Yeah, and Super Mario World, we made it to the final world. We're in World 6. Had some struggles on some things. I think most of my struggle on Monday, if you guys were here, was I was a little rusty. I had played so much Persona that week. Like, so much Persona. That I just everything had gone out of my head about all the things they teach you in that world of Super Mario World 2. Because what I've picked up, and what Metal Militia has basically, concurred with me and confirmed, because he has beaten the game before, is that since it's such pointed towards such a younger audience, a lot of the things you learn in the world, you're supposed to use that stuff to progress in the world. So if I play 2 levels and completely forgot what they taught me in those 2 levels, it's going to take me a little bit to remember. And I go, yes, that thing, where this thing does this and that, and then go, that's what they were teaching me. How to do the jumps better, the ski lifts, and all that stuff. So it took me a while to get into that. Then we went on a roll, and then I started playing dumb and started dying, and then we got through it, and we made it through World 6. I love the boss fight in this. Boss fight was really cool in this one. All of them are really cool. The 8th level boss fights have been chef's kiss for me. So having a lot of fun. Look forward to beating it in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I say that because it should take me 2 weeks to get through 6 if I'm going at the pace I've been going at, 3 to 4 levels an hour. But I'm not sure if there's another world that's like Bowser's World or something, or if we just go to a castle and there's just one more level, not a whole world. I don't want to be spoiled on that, so don't bring it up in chat or in Discord. But yeah, so that's why I'm saying 2 to 3 weeks. If it's just this world left, then it's about 2. Now it's 3, and then we should be. I'm gonna be a tired boy in these first 2 weeks with Games Fest stuff and all. But yeah, that's that. We're probably done with Fallout. If you didn't hear, Fallout probably done. So we may go back to it, may not. I didn't have as much fun streaming that. I have a thing that I've started to buy into. Playing these streams. I've learned by basically, force is probably the wrong word, but sort of needing to do more streaming and figure out what I'm doing here. I figured out what motivates me. Like, I don't feel like I have to keep going or I have to stream something, in there. I wanted to do the Fallout because of the TV show and, popularity stuff, and I don't really have many people to play 76 with, so 4 was the best example. And I just didn't feel it, like, at all. Persona 3, felt that immediately. We're going through this whole game no matter how many parts this is. 75 hours, sure, we're doing the whole thing. Cyberpunk 2077, after the introduction section, which was a little boring, the first hour or so, after the all-food stuff, so in. And we're moving that to Sundays because I'm just exhausted by Thursday, and I think I need Thursday to recharge for this show and then everything else that comes before this show, or after this show, if you're watching this live. So I think having this be the first thing of my streaming week is a good thing, because it eases me back in, get to talk to you guys, we get to chat about how the week is going, and then we can go. And then Super Mario World 2, easy, instant, fun, because I'm terrible at platformers. You guys can make fun of me while I do things. That was instant fun. So that's what I'm going to do. Like, we may start a game, and 2 parts in, I may go, guys, just not. I'm not having any fun. I don't think you're having any fun. Let's go find something else next week. Wipe the hands clean next week. It's one of the reasons why I don't do Truckin' Thursday anymore, to be completely honest with you, as much fun as that is. It's that I don't think I'm entertaining enough yet. I'm learning how to be a little more, extroverted, on the streams. To sort of, make those things where I'm just driving on a road more fun, and interactive. I don't think I'm there yet. So as much as I love that game and we love to play, I don't think I'm there yet. I think that's a game where I need, like, Tom in the Discord maybe Jonathan in the Discord, maybe Jen in the Discord, and they're, talking to each other, and I pipe in every so often. They're talking to the chat, and they're having, sort of like that's more of a group effort thing if we just want to, like, take 2 hours to chill together and just chat. I feel like Truck Simulator is the game for that, where I can just be doing my driving. You guys can make fun of me. You can, make fun of each other. You can bullshit, and we have fun where nobody else really has to be playing the game and doing any of that. I don't know if anybody else is up to doing that for stream, but I feel like that's the only time Truck Simulator would be fun for anybody. So that is why, long story short, circle back around. That is why Fallout is no more on the list. I'm debating another game, or not. I think we might be good. What to do on Saturdays? I think we're going to go to a turn of nights. Hey, goat. How you doing? Yeah, this is just chatting about what I've been playing. So haven't gotten to the news part of News Hour yet. Essentially, not sure what I'm going to do. I mean, Saturday's probably going to be JRPGs, so we'll go through there. But, speaking of Persona, thank you everybody who showed up on Saturday for Persona Saturday, where we played it over the holiday weekend, and I streamed 8.5 hours of Persona. A lot of Persona. That was more akin to how I game on the weekends when I have nothing to do. Basically 8 hours. Maybe longer. I was exhausted by the end. It takes a lot more energy to do this than it is to just sit in front of the TV and play the game. But yeah, I normally do it in chunks like that. 4.5 hours, break, eat, stretch, go touch grass, as they say, and come back, play 4 to 5 more hours. That's what I did with Rebirth. That's how I got to 100 hours in Rebirth really quickly. Was doing that basically every time I had a full day, and then I would do 3 to 4 hours, even if it went to like 1 in the morning during work days. I would still get that in. So Persona's getting real good. I think we're getting to a point where we're going to kill Jared Leto soon, or at least find out that Jared Leto's the big bad, or part of the big bad. Now, he may become an ally. I'm not really sure. Persona sometimes does that, but then they're not really much in terms of doing M. Night's, twist stuff as much. They have 1 or 2, and you can sort of see them coming a little bit. But, yeah. So, probably going to kill Jared Leto soon. I like what they're doing with the girl part of that of the Stega group. How I think she's going to lure Junpei over. So enjoying that part. We have a little boy on our team now who I think is a secret bad guy. And we thankfully had 8 hours of Persona to forget about the Maiko social link. Thing will just stick right in the back of my head. That was real bad. So yeah, we're starting to. I think we chose our girlfriend already. I think we're gonna go with Yuko, just because for the first time ever in a Persona game. Well, I didn't really have many choices. I mean, 4 you could have dated some people outside of your group too. 5 it's almost exclusively your group. I don't think you do many social links with people you can date outside your group. So my girl Makoto was probably the only one that I could do. I have decided to adopt the philosophy of don't fuck your coworkers for my Persona character. So we are going to date the team manager of the track team, Yuko, when we get the chance to, when we get her social link to 10. Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, I've been playing some NHL, some FIFA, just kind of, as the palate cleansers to just fuck around while I have a podcast on or something. So, yeah. I think that's it. Let's transition into I gotta make sure that I have the window captures on right. I didn't do that part of my job. Here. Let's get this going. How's everybody doing today? And let's get this up. Yeah. Sorry for everyone at home. This was absolutely me. Window capture. There we go. No. Did this window capture? Yeah, there we go. Let's just pull this over. Alright. We're going to transition over to the news. Let's start off with the news here. Sony State of Play, which if you joined me earlier, I apologize for the final quarter of that stream that I was muted. So let's just go over this here. Alright. So, first game shown was Concord, which was basically just Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, but it's a 5v5 PvP, a game that was definitely greenlit during Overwatch's heyday. I enjoyed the characters more than I've seen some talks about over on the interwebs about it. He's pretty interesting. The voice is, you know, I don't know. It probably will grow on me. I really did like the female character. I think it's like Haymaker or something like that. Haymarker. Her character was really well done. But yeah, they're definitely like, you have Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, and Groot, essentially. With how they're doing it here. So, God bless you that like that, you know, that style of gameplay. Definitely not something that I prescribe to. I think it's more that I never had 5 people to play as a team, and I hate playing with randoms online. I do for multiplayer in Call of Duty, because I mute everybody, and everybody's probably screaming at me because I'm terrible. But anything that requires strategy with teammates, I can't do it with randoms. I can do it with my friends, but I don't think I can. So that's probably why Overwatch and stuff like that I didn't really get into. So Concord, while if there's like some kind of single player or some kind of easy way to just play and I can tune in every week to get the vignettes that they're going to do, it's like story in it, then I will do that. I will not purchase this game. So either wait for it. Hopefully it's free to play. Yeah. So next up, God of War Ragnarok. This game is going to look awesome on PC. Like, awesome. It already looks amazing on a PS5. I can't imagine what you would do with the stuff you can do on PC. With higher-end cards, higher-end GPUs. Just stuff that blows the PS5 out of the water. It's going to have unlocked frame rate. That's going to be wild in this game. It already looks beautiful from the trailer. The only downside to it, which we'll get to a story later, is that it does require you to have the PSN requirement. So it technically makes it region locked, which kind of sucks. But I guess I can kind of see where Sony's coming from with that. Hello, Game Ball Cat. Next up is Dynasty Warrior Origins. Again, a game that I enjoyed the little bit I played of it, but not a huge Dynasty Warriors guy, so Didn't really jump out to me. Um, Part of it was a lot of the stuff in this state of play were things that were just not in my wheelhouse. So that's why I didn't really, have a good high grade for this state of play. But the cool thing that's going to happen with Dynasty Warriors, which is, I don't know, the best way to put it is they're going to have a lot of friggin' people on the map, like a lot of enemies to kill. They're gonna really really pack that those battles, and it's going to look great. Frame rate could be shit, could be great. Who knows? But yeah, for you Dynasty Warrior fans out there or fans of the genre, this next gen, this game looks pretty good. So the game that, if you watch the stream, I nicknamed Genshin Impact meets Pokemon Snap. Infinity Nikki here, which comes from Kentaro Tominaga, I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's an open world dress up adventure, is what it's labeled as. So yeah, if you're into any of those two types of games, in terms of Genshin Impact or any of the Hoya universe, and you like Pokemon Snap because there's a lot of picture taking in this game, this one seems like it'll be for you. It'll be interesting to see how this does, to be honest. Like, just amongst the video game zeitgeist more than anything. Alright, and another interesting trailer. There were a lot of, I think the next couple will be kind of like this. All fall into that, like, character action, Dark Souls-y sort of games that I play, am terrible at, and never finish. But goddamn, do both of these games look really good. Where Winds Meet is, I said this on the stream, that is a really good name because it's unique, it's interesting, it's not something used before, or some derivative of something prior. It is very like, people will if this is a good game, people will remember that name. And then the next game on the list here is Battle of Antara, which is a free-to-play action RPG. Sort of like I said, in the same vein of the other games there. We'll see. I enjoyed it, looking at it. Like I said, if I play it, I'll play it and not finish it, because that's what I do with these types of games. So the interesting one that I found here, because I had completely forgotten really about a PlayStation VR 2. So Skydance is coming out with Behemoth. It's a again, an action game, swords and sandals, it looks like. I don't know if you guys are wearing sandals, they never looked at the feet. But, type of game in VR, which looked really freaking cool, how they did some of the things in VR there. The only thing I'm worried about is that, it's the Saints and Sinners developer, and that game wasn't great from what I can remember. But yeah, if they're still promoting, we got a PSVR story coming later too. If they're really going to start pushing VR again, they need to get games. This kind of game, you need some type of game that's not just your standard carnival arcade fare in there. And this feels like a game that could do that. Could it be terrible? Yeah. Could it be awesome? Yeah. That's just where VR feels like. There's no middle ground in VR, I feel. But yeah, this was the VR block coming up here. Now this game, I wish Jen was here. This may be the type of game that becomes a big time VR experience, kind of like Resident Evil 7 the first time around. Alien Rogue Incursion. It's essentially, from what I can tell from the trailer, sort of like, you know, the other Aliens game that's escaping my memory, where you had to get through the ship and escape while sneaking around, and not getting seen by the alien. I feel like it's the same thing in this, except you're in VR, and it looked friggin' crazy. Like, I was getting scared not being in VR and watching it, when that alien comes out and sneaks around, and it's just, or the xenomorph comes out. It looks really good, and yeah, it's just, this could be a game that defines, you know, this PSVR 2 thing. I just hope it's not cheesy. That's the only thing that could fall in. It's just being very cheesy. If the xenomorph has to look really good, like, there's never been a game. Well, there's probably, I'm being hyperbolic here. There's never been a game where it rests on how good the art is for one character. Just one. The xenomorph has to look amazing in this. And it can't look goofy at any points, and it's gotta look menacing, it's gotta look like crap your pants realistic. That's the only way this game works. Next up is Marvel Rivals. Again, the fun thing, I don't know if I was muted for this part. I deleted the video, so it's not going to go up, because there's no reason to have 20 minutes of me in silence up on the internet. But the one thing I kept saying about Marvel Rivals when I was saying it is, it was frustrating the hell out of me. I don't want to put the trailer on here, but go watch the trailer. Anytime they are fighting, nobody's looking for cover or trying to get a strategic advantage. Everybody just sort of runs to one spot and then sort of dances around each other while they do their moves. And it's like, lightning bolt. Yeah, let's just dance here. I'm not going to go run away and try and hide until my thing charges up. Oh, you got me with your thing. Lightning bolt. You know, it just felt like they were told, making the trailer, that you need to show off as much of the powers as possible. Which could be completely true, you know, with this. And it made me laugh the entire time I was watching it, because they were basically just dancing around each other instead of trying to survive while they waited for their stuff to recharge. It looks interesting if you're really into Marvel. It has some really good character art. And, you know, it should find a home. Next up, a game you should have all played already. Until Dawn. It's coming to PC and PS5 with updated, remastered graphics. It was a funny moment on the video. During this video is when I realized that I had been streaming in 720p. Or at least the video was playing in 720p. I think I was streaming at 1080. Because it came up and I'm like, why does this look like shit? Like, this is way worse than I remember it looking when I played it. And then for some reason, like 10, 15 seconds into the trailer, I was like, let me check what the quality settings are on this video. And sure enough, it was playing in 720p, bumped it up to 1080, and I was like, oh, this is what I remember. And it was really good. So, great game. As I said on the video too, Until Dawn, while it has its faults, is very much the first in a series, sort of that the first one that hit, like, that got out into the zeitgeist. Um, that every other game has been trying to catch that high. Like, Don't Nod has the problem with Life is Strange. As a big Life is Strange fan myself, I love True Colors for being its own thing. The empathy thing was great. But a lot of these Until Dawn likes, and even Life is Strange, in the fact, with Life is Strange 2 and, the other clones that came out after it, is they all try to chase the high that first game had. And you can't really do that. That's why I love True Colors so much, because it changed it by giving it a new gameplay mechanic. I mean, Life is Strange 2 and Tell Me Why is sort of did have new things there, but the empathy thing, I think, was a real difference maker, and the makers of Until Dawn just haven't found, I think, it's Supermassive, right? Because Supergiant is Hades and Supermassive is Until Dawn. They just tried to recapture the same thing, and the magic just didn't work. But if you have not played Until Dawn, 100% get this game. You will have a good time with it in October. It is great. Speaking of games that, again, come to the thing where I would start, not finish, Path of Exile 2. I have seen the tech tree to this game, and it intimidates me a little bit. But, yeah. Really looks good. Again, not something in my wheelhouse. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. It's like Diablo, but more complex crafting. Yeah, so, like I said, a lot of these games, what I loved about this state of play, while a bunch of the stuff wasn't for me and things I wouldn't really play going forward, it seemed to be a lot of stuff for people that like that stuff. Like, getting some new IPs in, like, that Dark Souls realm, showing off Path of Exile 2 here, coming out for PS5 with couch co-op and all that stuff. Awesome. Probably not something I'll play. Essentially, as much as there's some games in my head about, I'm going to try that game. Like Diablo 4 was like that. Never tried it. That doesn't mean it's good or bad. I'm not one of those people that, because I didn't try it, it had to stink. Yeah. Silent Hill 2, we can stay real quick with this. The next two games we can be kind of quick with, because I'm not the expert in the second one. But all I want to say about Silent Hill 2, it looks good. Silent Hill 2 is probably my favorite story of the Silent Hill games. The only thing I'm worried about is that it is made by Blooper Team. And I don't really like the Blooper Team games. I don't know if they'll do a good job with this. Now, maybe it's foolproof enough that they can't fuck it up. But it's the Blooper Team to me. So, we'll see. I will wait and listen to my friends that love Silent Hill and see what they say before I dive into it. So, yeah. Just hoping that they don't mess it up. Monster Hunter Wild. Like I said, there's my waifu right there on screen. This is more of a Night Duck sort of thing. I was really, it upset me a little bit. I think I might have been muted at this point too, so it might not even got out there. I was upset that he had to go during the live watch of this, because it would have been nice to have the back and forth on his thoughts there for this. But yeah, it looks good. Monster Hunter always looks good. I want to see where it goes, but again, it's one of those things that I brought up with Call of Duty. I would probably love playing Monster Hunter. everybody who likes Monster Hunter and would have me play with them would hate me. So, yeah. That is why I don't play Monster Hunter. Because I have enough self-awareness to know I am not good at the game. And I will just drag down whatever team I'm on. But it looks amazing, and I can't wait to hear Night Duck's opinion when and if he plays it. Finally, the game of the show that I am 100% looking forward to, and that's Astrobot. Astrobot is one of those games that you were like, dismissive. You play it, amazing. The only thing I'm worried about this is if this is a little bit more expansive than the last two, I might be a little worried. Because the best part of the last two Astrobots, where they were such good, tight games. Like, there was no much in terms of filler. They didn't try to do too much. They got a lot of cool references, as you can see in this photo here. There's an Aloy. I think that's Jack in the background there. Pretty good touches like that and stuff. It's just really, really good. I am very much looking forward to this. This was my game of the show. I was upset I muted myself because I was just in love with everything they were showing in this game. Just all the PlayStation references are just great. Just great. We will probably play this game on stream. I will let you know that right now. So that was the state of play. I gave it, for me, it's probably a B- to a C. Overall, probably a B. If you like most of the games. So, in other news, we'll be real quick about this. I want to spend a little more time on this, but maybe we'll circle back to it next week. But last week, I criticized Neil Druckman for his interview. Turns out, that interview was very badly edited and was not at all what he was saying. And when you read the full thing here, which I recommend you going to Neil Druckman's Twitter and reading it over, it is completely different from what was represented in the thing. And I think it will do more justice for you guys to talk to it, and me having a little bit more time to digest the whole story and present it to you guys here. I didn't have as much time as I thought I would today, helping boomers with technology. Takes a little longer than you think. So we might circle back to this next week to talk about it. But yeah, I apologize to Neil Druckman. I was about to old yeller him like I was doing to Phil Spencer a few weeks ago. And I was wrong. Still don't 100% like what he's talking about here, but it's a lot better than what Sony presented. And and as Goat points out in the chat here, one of the things I'm really looking forward to over the next couple weeks is just seeing all the things that are coming out at the end of the year. Like, he's really looking forward to the Diablo 4 expansion. I would love to see some videos and stuff on that. Show up with some of the stuff in the summer here, because I feel like there's more that game can. It has a second life. I feel it has a second life in terms of, getting back. I mean, Diablo 3 had like 2 or 3, but that was their own fault, to be honest. Breaths of life into it. And I feel from what I've heard of the expansion, they should be able to do that again. But I want to see some stuff on it over the next couple weeks here. Next story. If you were here earlier, I watched the Deep Dive trailer, which is this here, for College Football 25. Short version. I'm liking all the new stuff they're doing. The wear and tear stuff is amazing. All the Campus IQ stuff, all the I mentioned that they actually went and got recordings from stadiums and things from each team to make the stadiums feel as real as they do on Saturdays. They got Zombie Nation for Penn State. Got a couple of the other songs. I can't think of it off the top of my head. The only two in my head was Getting Zombie Nation for Penn State for me. And that they weren't able to get Enter Sandman for Virginia Tech, which was the other one I was looking forward to. Because Lars probably wanted an extra zero on the check that they were giving him. And as we all, say GOAT here, just, they gotta, you're saying carry season 4 into the expansion. I think it depends on, now I'm not, again, didn't play Diablo, but with games of that ilk, I feel it depends on when the game is releasing, the expansion. Because if you put too much, if you need to carry it for too long, it starts to, like, some of the Fortnite seasons seem to get, and I'm not a Fortnite player either, but they tend to stretch out too much. And if they can find the perfect needle, I'm thinking like an October release, if that's not already what it is. I honestly have not looked up a thing in terms of any new news that have come out about it, but there's a big difference. It seems minuscule, but I feel like there's a big difference between October and November. I think you're running into too much stuff in November. I think October you can take advantage of it being October with Diablo, and you can carry it through and make sure everything's good. It'll get a lot of word of mouth, and you'll get the kids that'll get it, on Christmas. If the ones that are really into Diablo, and then it'll be good. But yeah, I'm hoping October for that release. But like I said, that might have already been announced. But anyway, back to college football 25. It's the one thing I said earlier in when we watched the trailer together pre podcast. The only thing that I really wanted from the game was that I wanted them to get as close to the FC, the soccer game, as they could in terms of crowd noise and stuff like that. And it seems like they're going to surpass that with all the stuff they're doing. So I'm very, very much excited. Again, I'm going to play my first game of this on stream. So be on the lookout for that. Next up, so just real quick, again, College Football 25, Road to Glory, which is where you bring yourself into, like, the game. You play yourself. You're going to be doing, like, classes and stuff. You're going to have NIL and transfer portals and all that good stuff, which seems interesting. Not really a Road to Glory guy. Thought I'd bring that out for the people that might be Road to Glory people. So, yeah, good deep dive on this in here if you want to check it out. Other big news, Microsoft insists that if you have a current Game Pass subscription, you will be able to download Black Ops. You won't have to upgrade a tier or anything like that, which I find amazing and very smart on Microsoft's part, because the last thing you want to do is block out players in a multiplayer game. And I feel, as Go points out in the chat here, which is why you should be live. We're live every Friday, 9 p.m. for the Game Ball Pod News Hour. Brings up some Diablo knowledge that myself would not know. Saying the Vessel of Hatred expansion for Diablo 4 is set in Nahatu? I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. And there's no way to correct me unless you know how to phonetically spell it out. Which is an iconic location from Diablo 2. And that is a great way to do an expansion. I think the... sorry, Game Ball Cat decided to just jump up on the desk. I think that's like some of the great things when Call of Duty and stuff do expansions and add maps and stuff like that. Just go for like a nostalgia play with updated looks. And I think that's a great play from the Diablo developers, to maybe try and bring, you know, maybe you suck an older fan in by going, hey, if you play through this fun game, you'll get to the expansion that'll be this place that you love. And maybe get some new fans in. I think it's always a good idea when you're, especially when you're jumping technologies, as far as 2 to 4 is in terms of graphical and computer power. It's always good to do that. Just show off a new location. Like I remember, it's not an expansion thing, but I remember when Dark Souls 3, spoilers for anybody that hasn't played Dark Souls 3 yet, you basically end up in New Londo in 3 from the other way into New Londo. And you slowly but surely realize it, but it is all like updated graphics for it. And it was just a great way to present it. And I think it's always fun to go back and show new locations looking better. I mean, Rebirth's an example of that, but in a much more aggressive way than this expansion is. Yeah, so if you got Game Pass, you can get Black Ops 6, which I'm happy about, which is why I'll be playing Call of Duty in the fall. Next up, just some stupid news. Embracer's boss, which they haven't had a good year, is mulling putting games beyond $70. Now, what I'll say is that it goes both ways. So, and again, I don't know how many of you out there are old enough to realize this, but games did used to cost more than $70 at some point. I believe Chrono Trigger was $80 cart for Super Nintendo. So it's been done before. When games were too big, they just sold them for more money. There's some $100 carts that have been out there back when cartridges were a thing. So what I think he's getting at here, and where I partially agree with him, is that you create a game like Rebirth, 100-hour game, or Persona, which is probably not a great example, but 120-hour game. You're putting a lot more work into that game, or using a lot more assets, a lot more manpower and stuff like that to make that game. So, you want to recoup your costs, which is a sound business decision. I think it's insane with the way the economy is to try to, make these games any more expensive right now. But, yeah. And that was the point I was getting to. Is that if the game's good, you'll buy it. I mean, like I said, back in the day, Chrono Trigger, games like that were great. People paid the extra money for them. No questions asked. Probably some complaining. But it comes to the point, the original point I was making, that it works both ways. There are people that are complaining about Senua's Sacrifice. I think it's Sacrifice is the second one? Whatever. The second one, Hellblade 2, it just came out. They are complaining that game is relatively short for, I think it's a $50 game, might be $60. I know it's definitely not $70. And you can play it on Game Pass. Complaining that there's not enough hours for the amount of money you're charging. But then if, as much of a D-bag as this guy is, wants to put a 120-hour game at $85, they will scream that it's price gouging. I don't think you can have it both ways. I think you either, every game is a set price, like AAA game, is this price, and it's for any of them, no matter how long or short they are. You can't do a value per hours for a game and not expect the games to be more expensive if they're longer. Like, you can't have that proposition and sort of not see it from both sides, essentially here. And I think it'll eventually, you'll eventually start seeing, if these games get really large, gigabyte wise, and stuff like that, you'll start seeing $80 games soon. I think the hardest thing that makes a difference between this and like the Chrono Trigger stuff I mentioned more was that everything was physical then, so you also had to pay for the extra physical stuff that came with a bigger cart, and this is all digital. I guess you're paying for servers maybe, or servers, but yeah, it's an intriguing conversation to have. I don't think you can go above 70 right now with the economy. You'll start pricing your stuff out of games, but I can see the argument for doing it. People buy the Ultimate Editions that are $100. I bought the Collector's Edition of Zelda for $120. I mean, people pay more money for things. But, yeah, this is just wrong time to be talking about this, dude. Especially with the year Embracers had so far. Alright. So, this is another quick one. This stupid thing with PSN, it's just, they're essentially region locking their games with this PSN requirement. So, I think it's a backwards business decision here. I get what they're doing. I get why they would want for their games to be on PC for people to get into their PSN. It inflates the PSN numbers. It makes them look good to investors. Gets more people into the ecosystem. I get all that. You should have, before making it mandatory, you should have I don't know how to put this. Figured out the region locking, like why PSN can't be in different countries. Like, just settle that. Just get the number down on this. It's available, as you can see, in a nice amount of countries. 69 countries. That's it. There's like 150? I don't know. I'm just pulling a number. It's definitely way more than 69. Yeah. It's insane that they didn't figure out the back end of getting PSN available in more countries before they made PSN a requirement. It just seems ass backwards, which is a Sony thing to do. But yeah, if they could figure out how to make it available in more countries, and then we'll say you're not going to get it in every country, because some countries are going to have really dumb laws, or you're going to, for some reason, your home country is forcing you not to do anything with Russia because of Ukraine, or do anything with, on the flip side, do anything with Israel because of Palestine. I'm just thinking of the two conflicts we have. It could be any two countries fighting. And your country's on one side or the other, and you don't want to do business with the one side. That's going to happen. But if you can get 3/4 of the countries okayed, then you can do a requirement. But this is just ridiculous. But capitalism, baby. This is a cool thing that I hope they were going to do at the State of Play. They submitted a certification for a PC adapter for the PSVR 2. And I think this is the one thing that can make VR take off a little bit. Because the PS2 VR is the most comfortable headset. It is the one that's probably the least barrier to entry. Maybe the Quest. But the Quest has some problems because it's not connected to a computer. But if they can get a way to get it on PC, and what they should go for immediately is, if they haven't already, they need to go to Valve and go, hey, put your Steam VR games on our system. Let our thing play Steam games. You will get a whole new level of people that are playing Half-Life Alyx now. Or if maybe they don't want to give them the whole library, maybe Valve goes, hey, we'll give you Half-Life Alyx, we'll give you this, we'll give you this. And, have it. I think if they can connect with Valve and get Steam VR games on there, I think it'll be amazing. This is pretty cool. This is something that think about in 2 to 3 years once the technology takes off. But pretty cool that this certification was applied for. And real quick, because every week we have to have terrible news in gaming. Take-Two quietly killing Private Division, which is the indie publishing label for Take-Two. Essentially, I'll just run down the games here. I brought up the wiki. They were involved with, The Outer Worlds, Hades, Rollerdrome, Ollie Ollie World. They got a couple games coming out. No Rest for the Wicked, and all the stuff they were publishing here. I mean, Penny's Big Breakaway was a pretty good flash in the pan game there. But yeah, they didn't have many misses in terms of games they published. So I guess essentially they're doing the redistributing, kind of like what Xbox is doing, but it's kind of a shame. They had a pretty good track record, and I just really hate when things get shut down. So I think it sucks for the industry, and it just makes less content out there. And finally, we get some fun / sad news, because it is leading to something. So, after 3.5 years, no one at CG Projekt Red is working on Cyberpunk 2077 anymore. Phantom Liberty is great. The 2.0 thing is great. I'm playing it on Sundays. But, you would think this would be sad, that they're no longer doing this. But the good news is, see this, coming up with the games here, looking forward to. You look at this green thing right here. This is the Cyberpunk, the 5647 is lime green. That is the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. That is the code word name for that sequel. And I am excited that is what it is. It had a No Man's Sky resurgence. And I hope that they've learned their lesson and will not put it on PS4 and Xbox One. And just full bore into next gen. There. Polaris is their next game coming out, which I think is The Witcher? I think The Witcher one is Polaris. Either Polaris or Sirius. Sirius is the red one. Polaris is the green one. The one that has like 400. I think that's Witcher. But yeah, it's like sad day. But unlike a game like No Man's Sky, where that's their only thing, CD Projekt has a couple of irons in the fire. So they need to do the actual reallocating. So they got Cyberpunk back to where it's really good. I really like the way it plays compared to when first time I went through it. I didn't think I would. I really do love it because I liked it the first time on PC. And now they can transition into making a sequel instead of DLC. I think it's better to make a sequel than DLC off of this. Like, you get the one good one, you get Phantom Liberty, you get it out there, you get the 2.0, 2.1 expansion to make the game playable and great for years to come. And then you spend the next couple of years making the sequel. And learning your lessons and doing better, getting more Keanu, and whatever you need to do. But, yeah. Slight sad news that there won't be any new No Man's Sky level of updates to it, but I think this is normal game development. I think No Man's Sky's, a lot of those live service games are anomalies in terms of the way gaming works. But I am excited to see that they seem to move on. I am even more excited to see that this number, the 630, is a number going up as of April 30th and not down, which is what a lot of the industry has been doing. So, yeah. So that was the first time we've gone over an hour in a while. Or I shouldn't say a while, a couple episodes. Without me ranting and raving. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Just to let you know, I will try and get a schedule, but it might end up in the Discord. I need to research when all the... I think the Kiwi stuff is on the 7th. Something's on the 12th. I gotta go find the dates, and I'll put it up there, and we will be watching, not live, because I have to work, and I think these things are during the day. If they're in the evening, we will 100% watch them live. But any of the press conferences or things from Microsoft, Bethesda, Sony, Nintendo, EA, all that stuff, we'll be watching it here with you. I will try and not get spoiled if it's not a live watch. But yeah, I am very much looking excited to the next couple weeks here. So thank you guys again for joining me. If you're watching this live, we will be back. Oh yeah, that's right. Programming update. I should have done this earlier. As much as I said we may have been playing Cyberpunk on Sunday, we will instead be playing Persona, because this weekend starts travel softball season for my niece, and for some reason she has games at 3:55, 5:30, and 7:15, and the field is an hour away, so I won't be getting home until 10:30, 11 o'clock, maybe? So no Persona tomorrow. On Saturday. But I will be playing Persona this weekend. We will play it on Sunday. We might start early, like 6 or 7, and just play it for 3-4 hours. But Cyberpunk will come back the next Sunday after that. So look out for that. And then Monday, we have Super Mario World. Almost finished with that at the World 6. And then we'll be back for the news hour. And then the regular, normal weekend schedule will begin. I may take that back, because there's going to be another one where I'm not going to be in town for the weekend because of softball. Because you'll have a game 2 hours away, and I don't feel like doing 8 hours on a weekend. But I'll keep you updated. Either way, Persona is the priority. If we beat Persona before that, which I don't think we will, then Cyberpunk will play on Sunday. We just won't go to Eterna Nights until the next Saturday. Yeah. I think that's it for the programming notes. Discord's open. If you guys want to jump in there, I got to go check the Discord. It's been a very busy week at work because Memorial Day came, then it was the end of the month, and in my line of work, end of the month is really super fucking busy. Yeah. So be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel where all this stuff goes, all my streams go, if I don't accidentally mute myself. And, yeah. Hit that bell, go live, know when I post a video over there. Yeah, so, again, I know I said this like 3 times, but thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye!